points on the rewards card, the 27th or 28th.
Number 4.
Get your groove on with live music every weekend at the Sideline Bar.
3.
We know you're ready for some football. So are we. Notice the big screens everywhere?
Number 2.
Get funky with the Commodore. Live October 1st. We will sell out. Get your tickets now.
And the number 1 reason.
Pay with points. It's simple. Play, earn, then pay for gas, gifts, and food with your reward points.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Morongo. Good times.
Have you been denied a home loan or refinance because you're self-employed, earn 1099 income, or even a real estate investor? You're missing out. Most lenders make approval seem impossible, especially if you're self-employed. Stop watching everyone take advantage of the lowest mortgage rates in history while you're stuck on the sidelines. Accelerate Capital, the premier lender designed for the self-employed. Our approval process is based on common sense, using bank statements, 1099 income, profit loss statements, rental income, or even stated income to qualify at the lowest rates available. Fast. Conventional lenders cannot do this. When others say no, we say yes. Call 800-811-9702, 800-811-9702, or visit acceleratecapital.com.
EXCEME, acceleratecapital.com.
Equal housing lender. Call for details. NMLS ID number 1165716. Not all will qualify. California DFCI license number 41DDO45150. Additional restrictions may apply. Loans made or arranged pursuant to the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act.
Call Jacob and Molly. Call Jacob.
For official rules and more information about contests on this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules.
Live and local.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
John Kent Show, John Cobell and Ken Shampo, KFI AM 640. Live everywhere in the iHeart radio app. We'll be talking to a staffer with the Center for Immigration Studies. They usually just come with the cold, hard facts. It's a very logical organization that tracks immigration, legal and illegal. And they got some stuff to talk about when it comes to the border. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, the Haitians, how many have been to the country, what's going to happen next. To get the complete rundown right on the show here at 4:05. Well, it was October 23rd, 2015. Do you remember what happened that day, John?
October 23rd, 2015. I have no idea.
Well, the Mets did not win the World Series.
Those are the only dates I remember.
The Kansas City Royals won the World Series. I think you went
Oh, the Mets.
Welcome to the Mets, yes.
No, I went to the game in New York. Yeah.
You did, I remember that. It just flashed into my head when I saw 2015, and October 23rd would be pretty close to the end of it. Well, no, it was the Porter Ranch gas leak.
6 years already.
Yeah.
Is that still
SoCal
leaking?
Gas has the gas leak. What's that?
Is that still leaking?
No, but we have a major development. They called it the Aliso Canyon gas leak, and if you weren't around for us covering that story for months because that gas leak went on and on, people in Porter Ranch had to leave, people got sick.
3,000 people got sick up in the Northern Valley, San Fernando Valley.
There were reports that there possibly could have been cancer cases coming from that horrific gas leak. And remember what happened at the beginning. It's an important point. The spokeshole was denying there was a leak. Remember that?
Right.
The residents must have been imagining it.
Right.
That was the first day or so.
That's the first lie that SoCal Gas told.
Right. So residents in Porter Ranch suffered the effects of this. This Aliso Canyon gas storage facility, I think it was like a safety valve or something broke on one of the wells or something like that. It was.
Yeah.
It took months to find out what the hell went wrong and months to cap the thing.
I think it didn't have a safety valve for decades.
Right.
And they never
faulty was the word.
They never replaced it, and they finally needed it, and obviously it didn't work. So you had just tons and tons of gas spewing into the air.
Well, of course, Southern California Gas Company is owned by Sempra Energy. We found out at the time, because Jerry Brown was the governor, that his sister, Kathleen, was on the board of Sempra Energy.
Because Jerry wasn't concerned at all about all the
Yeah, he
greenhouse.
was sidelined with this. He never really said much about it.
No, there was tons of greenhouse gases spilling into the air.
Methane,
It was
yeah.
a major environmental disaster. It was terrible health problems for thousands of people. Jerry Brown didn't care because his sister was on the board.
he said little about it. He didn't go there. He didn't. I mean, eventually they issued some sort of emergency something or other, but it took a long time.
He doesn't really care about global warming. He doesn't really care about it. But it's a way to stay relevant, to stay in the news, to get invited places, to travel, to be a hero to somebody.
Well, the news today is that Sempra Energy has agreed to a $1.8 billion settlement.
Wow.
35,000 plaintiffs. So if you do the math, I didn't have time.
Yeah, how much did the attorneys get?
Usually that's what happens with these things. The attorneys grab, I mean, it sounds like a huge amount of money, almost $2 billion.
Sometimes attorneys get 40, 50% of the cut.
They do. Well, they'll tell you they do the hard work of arguing your case.
Oh, yeah.
All you have to do is sign the paperwork, but you're the one that got sick.
Yeah,
Right.
here's $8.
The largest known release of methane in U.S. history.
Yeah.
I'll repeat that for the greenhouse gas. And Jerry Brown was Mr. Greenhouse Gas. We even had the apocalypse desk dedicated to this guy.
They're phony. It's like when Al Gore goes flying around on private jets. They're phonies.
Do you know how many
Kerry-
cow farts that is?
Yeah, John Kerry runs around, as the envoy to the Paris Climate Accords, except he runs around on private planes just to go to dinner. They're fakes. They don't care. Because it's not that serious. It's just a passing hysteria that they amp up in order to raise money, get votes, reward clients who donate to their campaigns.
Right.
It's a racket, like everything else, like the homeless racket here.
There was 100,000 tons of methane and other substances.
Do you remember?
118 days.
Do you remember a single politician in the state uttering one word about that?
Well, yes, I do, but he's in prison now.
Well, I was going to say, except for Mitch Englander.
This Englander,
Who was
he came to Puerto Rancho. We did the show there.
He was a local councilman, and he ended up in prison on bribery charges.
Well, he had some faults.
Yeah.
He was the only one that got worked up, and
The hookers in Las Vegas guy.
yeah, I can't pick him.
No, but I don't remember all these people that scream about global warming, and they have all these taxes, and they have all these carbon trading schemes, and all these regulations on industry.
That's
and
right.
They never said a single word about the largest methane outbreak in California history.
It's
They
amazing.
did nothing to punish SoCalGas.
And guess who pays? Ratepayers are going to pay this.
That's right.
By the way, there were other settlements. They already gave $120 million to the state attorney general. They had to give $4 million to LA County prosecutors because they were convicted in court for failing to quickly report the leak to state authorities. All this money going out the door, as John likes to say, they don't care. It's ratepayer money. What does it matter to them? Or they're insured. I don't know whether they had insurance for this or how that works.
Probably both. If the insurance doesn't cover it, the ratepayers will take up the rest. It's like it's like the fires. PG&E kills people, gets away with it because they donate to Gavin Newsom and Jennifer Newsom's Feminist Film Festival, and then if the insurance doesn't cover it, then they just charge us more money.
Yeah, these energy companies, it's quite the racket.
Oh,
They don't seem responsible for anything. They do what they want.
No, because what happens is you see their statements.
If this had been a refinery that had blown out this much methane or greenhouse gases, could you imagine every politician in the state or the country would be all over them? But because it's a public utility with the governor's sister on the board,
Right.
let's just
Yeah. No,
hope this goes away. It's like, what do you mean it took 4 months to control? Damn, that's too long. People are still talking about that?
They deny it all day and night. It's like we were talking about, after 9/11. More people have died since 9/11 of cancers and lung disease from breathing the air in that neighborhood. They were the first responders, or they worked and lived in that neighborhood, and the U.S. government, what was it? I think it was 6 days after 9/11, said, the air around the World Trade Center is fine. We did testing, and everything's good, the EPA. And it turned out there was never any testing done. They sent school children back there, they sent office workers, residents, the police and the fire and the rescue crews. They all lived there, and now over 3,000 have died of these hideous lung and cancers. Lung diseases and cancer. It's stuff I'd never even heard of. I was going through this story. Because the federal government just lied. The Bush administration just flat out lied. They didn't want panic. They didn't want to deal with long-term hysteria from the public. And it's the same thing that SoCal Gas and Jerry Brown did too. Is they just lied and said, oh no, we did testing, everything's fine.
I remember when we talked about this story. I said, what happened to the Public Utilities Commission? It's the same thing with PG&E. It's like, are you guys ever checking out their safety protocols? I mean, PG&E has got all sorts of utility lines that are falling down and causing fires. And it says here, state regulators eventually found that SoCal Gas failed to investigate previous well failures at the storage site and didn't assess its aging wells for disaster potential.
If I remember, the valve that was broken had broken in 1979. Or it hadn't been inspected since 1979. Something 40 years that they hadn't done it. And that's because nobody in government cares. The Public Utilities Commission is often made up of energy executives. Guys work at PG&E, then they go to the Public Utilities Commission. Or vice versa. So, of course they're not. It's their buddies.
Their buddies. All right, we got more coming up.
John and Ken, KFI, Devin Marquez News.
LA County DA George Gascon says his office has identified nearly 60,000 cannabis convictions that will be dismissed. He says it's part of an effort to reverse the injustices of drug laws. LA says it wants to invest $30 million in a solar and storage program using city-owned buildings across various departments. Smartphones may be in short supply this Christmas because of power problems at factories in China. Almost 24 people who work in one factory had to go to a hospital because ventilation was shut off following a power outage. We have trouble on the 6C, and we will check in with KFI in the sky next.
If you want to sell your house or condo fast and easy, call Seller's Advantage, and they'll buy your home as is for cash.
Hey, with Seller's Advantage, know this. There are no realtor fees or commissions, no escrow fees, no repairs needed. There won't be open houses. That means no strangers walking through your home. They're going to buy your house or condo for cash.
Damon and Doug from Seller's Advantage bought a house from one of our KFI listeners.
Tell me more.
I was just about to. The guy wanted to sell. He met with a couple of real estate agents, compared the numbers, and chose Seller's Advantage to do the deal.
Yeah, he ended up with the same money, same bottom line. There were no repairs, no headaches, no open houses, and, of course, no hassles. And he says working with Seller's Advantage was the easiest real estate transaction he's ever completed.
Want to sell your home? Call Seller's Advantage. See how much your house is worth now.
Yeah, call for a free quote. Call 888-321-AS-IS. You call 888-321-AS-IS. That's 888-321-AS-IS.
DRE number 0196165, sellersadvantage.com.
It's Colin Coward. Here's what's trending from iHeart Sports Network, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid was discharged from the hospital after he was taken there by ambulance after yesterday's game against the Chargers because he was feeling ill. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford set a franchise record set by Hall of Famer Kurt Warner with 9 TD passes in the season's first 3 games. And new Lakers guard Russell Westbrook said that he took control of this situation by contacting the team prior to the NBA draft to show his desire to don the purple and gold. I'm J.D. Haffer.
Stunning design, unmatched intelligence, and a compact ready-for-anything build. Sometimes exceptional is the rule. The 2021 Mercedes-Benz GLS. Member of the unrivaled SUV family. Learn more at MBUSA.com.
From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We have a stall on the 60 in Diamond Bar.
It's going to be on the westbound side, right before Grand Avenue. Stall there in the carpool lane, so nobody's getting through very quickly. Just add that to your woes. Now, again, that's on the westbound side, so just be careful. Now, on the eastbound side of the 60, we've got some problems. I think Michael Bryan might even know about them. He's checking out things sponsored by Injury. Attorney Superwoman, superlawyer.com, downtown L.A.
Yeah, it looks like the 110 northbound, just before the four-level interchange at the 101 hookup there. That is an accident just going to the right shoulder, but I got to tell you, it's just adding to a really tough drive now from South Los Angeles up through Dodger Stadium. Very similar on the southbound 110. That's loading up just about Stadium Way. They'll be on and off the brakes and mostly on all the way into South Los Angeles. 605 southbound. Looks like right at Telegraph, they're clearing up a problem there. That is adding to slowing. It really starts at Whittier Boulevard. The worst of it down through the 5. And the northbound side of the 605. Pretty heavy there for the 105 through the 5 as well. Injured in an accident? Visit Superwoman, superlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky.
KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Luke Holschreiber. This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. For big tire deals, everyone knows it's Big O Tires. Right now, save big, up to $150 on select sets of Ford tires with paid installation using your Big O Tires card. Get the Ford tires you need, save up to $150, only for a limited time. For the store nearest you, visit BigOTires.com.
You've heard the phrase 1 in a million, right? What about 1 in 500? This is Leland Smith from Service Champions Plumbers, Heating, and AC, and it takes us about 500 candidates to find that one outstanding technician. When hiring, the first thing we do is make sure they're friendly. Then they have to pass a background check and a drug test. Next, we test for the right skills and work ethic, and finally we put them through a rigorous 14-week training course to learn the Service Champions way. In the end, we go through about 500 candidates to find that one outstanding technician. So when you open your door to a friendly, smiling Service Champions technician, you know you're looking at the best of the best. Call Service Champions today to schedule an $88 AC Precision tune-up. Our number is 833-777-7777 or find us online at servicechampions.com. Service Champions Plumbing, Heating, AC, and for free.
Nielsen says more than 30 million Americans are now tuning into Newsmax TV.
Hey, it's one of the biggest media stories.
Newsmax is available on all major cable systems.
And if you cut the cord and don't get cable, you can still get Newsmax.
Find it on your smart TVs like Samsung, LG, and more.
Just go to your smart TV channel guide or download the free Newsmax app.
Newsmax also streams free on Roku, Zumo, Pluto, Amazon Fire, TiVo, and 7 million people now have the Newsmax app on their smartphone.
You know, it just takes seconds to download it on your phone, and there's no paywall or subscription.
So watch Newsmax for breaking news anytime, anywhere.
President Trump watches Newsmax.
Forbes calls Newsmax a news powerhouse.
Find out why tens of millions of Americans are watching Newsmax TV and going to Newsmax.com for breaking news.
It's a source you can trust. Watch Newsmax TV today.
Get your daily dose of California with the Times Daily News from the LA Times. Join your host, LA Times journalist Gustavo Arellano, as he unpacks our world with a West Coast perspective. Listen and subscribe today at LATimes.com/The Times or wherever you get your podcasts.
Social Security was never meant to be your main source of income in your retirement. It's only a supplement to your other savings, pensions, and 401ks. But where does Social Security fit into your retirement income strategy? How can you best maximize it? Should you hold off on collecting it because of tax implications? Call 833-PLAN-ESE right now. Get the answers from Edelman Financial Engine with a free Social Security and retirement review. This is not a filing strategy, but a deeper look at your future retirement income. A fiduciary financial planner will review your portfolio to help make sure it's not too risky. Then they'll create your very own personal financial plan with a Social Security analysis to help you reach your goals. The plan is worth $800, but it's free if you call now. Call 833-PLAN-EFE by tonight at 10 p.m. That's 833-PLAN-EFE or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. Build more security into your future.
Our 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the ultimate once-in-a-lifetime music event, is coming to the CW. The biggest stars from all genres of music share one stage.
Billie Eilish,
Cheap Trick, Coldplay,
Dua Lipa,
J. Cole, Journey, Khalid, Lil Baby, Nelly, Sam Hunt, Weezer, with special guests, Laura Dory Line, Walker Hayes, performances you've never seen before and will never see again. The 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Watch this Saturday and Sunday at 8 p.m. on KTLA 5, the CW.
You said you wanted to be the person who's going to deliver babies.
Yeah.
You've never seen a baby
I've
delivered.
seen it tons of times on the television. Just navigate the baby out of the part that it comes out of.
I'm sorry?
Gary and Shannon.
Wow.
Weekdays at 10 a.m.
I want a YouTube channel that does nothing but show your hand motions every time we talk about something uncomfortable.
On KFI.
TopKick Show, John Cobell and Ken Champo, KFI Am 640. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, we'll talk once again about the situation with the migrants who are accumulating in big numbers in the border of Texas and Mexico. The Center for Immigration Studies tracks all this stuff. They'll give us their expert opinion and research on this story coming up after the news at 4 o'clock. Well, this is no surprise. A brand new study of Southern California children revealed that during the pandemic, they've gotten fatter, particularly 5 to 11-year-olds who gained an average of 5 pounds during this pandemic period, March of last year, through, I guess, still going on, particularly when they weren't going to school, moving around the classroom, maybe moving around during recess. A lot of them just sat at home and looked at Zoom and consumed food and then played video games, and
This is 5 pounds more than the weight they're supposed to be.
I guess, I don't know how it just says they gained an average of 5 pounds and they got fat.
You're supposed to
And 5
gain
pounds
weight
is significant when you're a 5-year-old and you only weigh like 50
Right.
pounds or something. Big story over the weekend in Huntington Beach. This was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The U.S. Open of surfing was going on, and suddenly the police opened fire and killed a guy on the sand.
Did you see the video?
I did see the video.
They ran it on TV. I didn't think they ran video of people getting shot to death.
I think I saw it on TMZ. Where did you see it?
On one of the local channels last night.
Oh.
And I can't remember which one.
Was that the shot where he's kind of behind a little retainer wall? And
Yeah, but you could see him writhing. Because every time they hit him, his body spasmed.
Here's one first suspicion. By the way, they got a call of a man with a gun. So they're going there knowing that they could be in a dangerous situation. Because my first reaction is, why did they just start shooting the guy? His name is Ronnie Andrew Garcia, 43. Here's the next sentence. It's a keeper. His city of residence unknown. Where do we go with that one?
But he had a gun.
Right, but sounds like a homeless guy.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Bunch of 5 or 6 Huntington Beach cops trudge across the sand. They surround him. He's got a basketball shorts, a white t-shirt on. He slowly backs away. And then eventually he fumbles with a small bundle. There appears to be some sort of object swaddled in a white shirt, as it's described here. And then suddenly extends his arm outwards, pointing whatever that is in the officer's direction. They can't see for sure it's a gun, but he's sure acting like it is, so they yelled stop, and then they fired. He collapses on the ground, writhing in pain. The first reports seemed that he was alive, but he died. Says he grabs for the bundle again, revealing what looks like a small black object, and they open fire again. And then he's riddled with bullets. That's probably what you saw, John.
Oh, yeah.
They fire until he's not moving.
That's what they were doing, because his body was like twisting one way and then the other way, and they just kept pumping bullets into him.
When you're carrying a gun, particularly in a very heavily trafficked public area,
Now, you're going to lose.
the cops are taking no chances. It doesn't matter whether you're going to say afterwards, I'm sure he wouldn't have shot anybody. It's just something he carries for protection.
No
Why did somebody call it in? Was he waving it around? We don't really know that yet.
No reasons, no excuses. When the cops say drop the gun, you have to do it instantly. If you pause even for a fraction of a second, you're going to get popped.
Oh, and God knows if you raise anything.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's wrapped in a towel or a blanket or...
There's no excuse.
They said that they recovered a gun.
That's what we pay the cops to
Others
do.
present said the man pointed a gun at cops. So it looks like they're okay, although this will be investigated by the Orange County Sheriff's Department and Huntington Beach Police. But what I love is the reaction of people in the story. I didn't know that was gunfire. Everybody's so used to movies and TV where everything's amplified. Do you ever look at the credits at the end of a movie? Look how many sound guys there are. That's their job. To make sure you know it's gunfire because it's a cool noise and it's a sound.
Well, it's supposed to be
the
hilarious.
ricochets and echoes.
Yeah.
Right. In real life, everyone says, it just sounded like little pops.
Yeah.
There's one guy said, it didn't sound loud enough to be gunfire. Then I saw police and I thought, oh, okay, that's gunfire, said one witness. Then I ran.
There are some people whose all their references in life is TV shows and movies.
Well,
Like
yeah, how
when
many
they
times
talk-
you've been around real gunfire?
No, but I mean, just in general. You know, if you just listen to cubicle workers talk, they're only talking about TV shows and movies, and then any experience they have reminds them of a scene from something. Like they have no original life experience to draw from. They only have screen existence to draw from.
Well, due to the surfing championship, there was a lot of cops around. That's why they got there very quickly and took action. But in case you were there or traumatized, the city's announcing they're offering emotional support services. to anyone who witnessed the shooting and has been traumatized. So there you go. You need help with that. All right, when we come back, we're going to take another look at the situation at the border, the response to the Haitian migrants who are accumulating under a bridge in a place called Del Rio, Texas. We'll be talking to a member of the Center for Immigration Studies, what they've been able to find out, what this means for more people coming. Andrew Arthur will join us. Oh, John, he's a fellow. He's a resident fellow of Law and Policy.
Yeah, we have a lot of fellows on the show.
Known as Art. He's coming on next.
All right, that's John and Ken Show. Deborah Marquez, the news, Kfi Am 640.
Full bandwidth stimulation.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Singer found guilty. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A jury hearing the federal sex trafficking trial against R. Kelly in New York has found the singer guilty.
Today's verdict brings an end to Robert Kelly's decade-long reign of terror over many vulnerable girls, boys, and young women.
Special agent in charge, Peter Fitzhugh with Homeland Security Investigations, that says that for years Kelly believed his power and fame could protect him from prosecution. Fitzhugh says Kelly underestimated the people he abused.
I don't know if I'm more disappointed in the juror's verdict or the government's action in this case.
Defense lawyer Deborah O'Canick says Kelly was not expecting a guilty verdict.
Based on the evidence, why should he anticipate this verdict?
Canick says Kelly's accusers gave up to 5 different versions of what they said happened, and the government cherry-picked what they wanted. Canick has promised an appeal. The DEA in Los Angeles says fake prescription pills are still a big problem among young people. The agency's Bill Bodner says most of all the fake meds are laced with meth or fentanyl and are responsible for almost all drug-related deaths in the area.
If you took the counties of LA County, Orange County, and Riverside County, in 2019, there were 2,300 deaths. By 2020, that number was up 60% to 3,700 deaths.
Bodner says younger people are still the primary consumers because they can easily get the pills through social media. Bodner says at the current pace, 3/4 of all drug-related deaths in the LA region this year will be related to fake pills. LA County DA George Gascon says he will be dismissing more than 50,000 pot-related convictions. Some go back 3 decades. Gascon says he thinks the move will help people still facing hurdles from being convicted.
Housing, education, and employment.
About 66,000 pot-related convictions were passed last year in LA County. State lawmakers passed a bill that requires prosecutors to review cases that are eligible to be thrown out. Gascon says those are only cases which were investigated by the state. He says after looking into LA County court records, about 58,000 eligible cases were found. California Democratic Congresswoman Karen Bass is running for mayor of LA. She has served 6 terms in Congress, heading up the Congressional Black Caucus. Bass also the Speaker of the California Assembly. If she wins the election, she would be the first woman to be mayor of LA. NASA has launched a new satellite from Vandenberg Air Force Base so people can get a better view of Earth.
Those cool pictures of Earth from space happen because of the Landsat program. Landsat 9 will join its sister satellite, Landsat 8.
It is the longest continuous global satellite record of the Earth's surface.
NASA's Administrator Bill Nelson says the first Landsat satellite launched in 1972 and works alongside the U.S. Geological Survey to help people manage essential resources, including crops, irrigation, water, and forests. Nelson says images from Landsat 9 will be added to nearly 50 years of free and publicly available data from the mission, the longest data record ever of Earth's landscape taken from space. Steve Gregory, Kfi News.
And the head of the CDC says trick-or-treating can return this Halloween as long as people do so safely. Dr. Rochelle Walensky says kids and kids at heart who have not been exposed to COVID-19 should go trick-or-treating in small groups. People are also advised to have Halloween parties and other holiday activities outside and with small crowds. We have a crash on the 22 in Westminster.
The lanes are the ones affected by this one. It's the 22 eastbound just past Golden West. Crash blocks the carpool lane, so if you're over on the right side, maybe not quite as bad, but it is still slow there. And apparently it's a spectator slowdown on the other side, on the other side of the freeway there too, on the eastbound side of the 22. A lot of people slowing down and taking a look. KFI in the Sky is sponsored by Injury. Hey, Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, Santa Fe Springs.
605 southbound. It looks like right about Telegraph. They're clearing up a problem out of the middle lane. That's added to a tough driver starts to go back at the 60. Northbound side of the 605. Just on the break there from the 105 to the 5, and it reaches up quite a bit. Little moderate step up ahead through and approaching the 60. Now, there's a problem just into Linwood. It looks like the 105 eastbound of Long Beach Boulevard. Accident to the right shoulder there. That's pretty well back up on that stretch from the 105, 110 interchange. And there's more going ahead, leaving the 710 over to the 605. 405 southbound at Howard Hughes Parkway. They're clearing up a problem there. You're heading to the airport. Well, it's already very heavy from Sunset Boulevard heading that way. If you did not get it, visit Superwoman, superlawyer.com. Michael Bryan, KFI in the Sky.
KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Ray Faithful.
This hour of KFI is brought to you by Sunlux, your best value in solar for all your energy needs. Sunlux.com.
Get warmer. We'll talk about that next.
How many years has it been since you went to the dentist? And now what? Now all your teeth are falling out. Maybe because you have dental anxiety, just the sight of the dentist, or the sight of the exam room terrified you. Or you were just afraid of finding out how bad it was. Whatever it is, Cunning Dental is the place to go. They specialize in people that are afraid of the dentist. They specialize in patients that need major work from years of dental neglect. They can do all the dental work while you sleep. They put you under a gentle twilight sleep or full anesthesia. You don't know what's going on. You don't remember what's going on. You wake up and you've got this beautiful smile. They can repair years of neglect in 1 or 2 appointments. Dental implants, crowns, root canals, smile makeovers, new permanent teeth in a day. They can do it all. They give you $500 off on any sleep treatment, so you can sleep through any procedure. Restrictions apply. Call Cutting Dental, 888-640-SMILE, 888-640-SMILE, 888-640-SMILE.
Income-eligible renters impacted by COVID-19 can now get 100% of their past due rent and utility bills paid through the California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program. Landlords with tenants who haven't paid rent because of COVID-19 are eligible for 100% reimbursement too. The application is fast, the information is private, and you won't be asked about citizenship. Apply at housingist2.com before eviction protections end on September 30th. Brought to you by the California Department of Housing and Community Development.
The KFI Financial Report brought to you by Stay Alarm. The Dow closed up 71, S&P 500 down 12, NASDAQ down 78, and the average price of a gallon of regular gas in California is $4.40.
Stay Alarm will keep your commercial fire system in compliance so you're up to code, not up all night.
Sunshine weather from KFI. Cloudy again in the morning and sunny. Temps upper 60s at the beaches, low to mid 70s for metro LA, 70s in the valleys, low 70s for inland OC, 75 to 80 in the IE, and warmer on Wednesday. Right now it's 67 in Orange, 65 Huntington Beach, 68 in Northridge, and 66 in Sun Valley. We lead local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Deborah Mark.